I didn't think this was real. When I get the notification, I just see Dylan Brooks and John Morant get into an altercation with Shannon Sharpe. And I'm just like, excuse me, what? So what happened in this game was the Memphis Grizzlies were on an 11-game winning streak, coming in to face the LA Lakers, who I believe are 23 and 25, sitting at the Western Conference 12 seed. Shannon Sharpe, obviously the biggest LeBron fan in the world, constantly talks about him every day and how he thinks he's better than Michael Jordan. He is sitting courtside, and Dylan Brooks just walks by. At least from his side of the story, Dylan Brooks just goes, "Fuck you," and Shannon Sharpe's like, "Fuck me, fuck you." And then all of a sudden, John Morant comes out of nowhere and then starts walking up to Shannon Sharpe, and he's like, "Do you want the smoke? Do you really want it?" For context, Shannon Sharpe benches 315 for reps. I don't even know if John Morant can bench more than me. I mean, John Morant and Dylan Brooks, like, they're muscular, but they're very skinny, very lean muscular. You want to walk up to Shannon Sharpe and start problems, who's a NFL Hall of Fame tight end who can still lift more than you and who's pulling 1,000-pound deadlifts and squats in the gym. Like, what are you doing? You're going at an NFL Hall of Famer for what? Like, his entire point with the Memphis Grizzlies is on a show when he says on Undisputed is he says, this is a team that talks a lot of trash and acts like they've won something when they haven't proven anything in the NBA.
Which I think is true because they haven't done anything. They haven't even made it to a conference finals.
No.
So it's like, make it to a conference finals, make it to a title, maybe.
Yeah.
Win a title. You know, like if it was the Warriors, if it was hell, even the Suns have made a finals.
Yeah.
They can chirp. They've proven something. But for as far as the Grizzlies, they haven't proven it to them. It'd be like if the Cavaliers were going crazy. It's like, dude, you guys have not proven anything.
Yeah, and from that point on, they blew the lead, and then Desmond Bane turns the ball over, and they lost to the Lakers, and the Lakers snapped their 11-game winning streak when the Lakers aren't a good playoff team.
No, not at all. But, you know, maybe this will be a learning point for them. Maybe they can turn things around from it, but not a good look for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, not a good look from that Grizzlies. And then another story that came out of this is watching guy called Dreamer Sports Pro, and he's talking about how internally there's been some reports that not a lot of NBA players love Shannon Sharpe talking basketball, which I think is ridiculous, especially for someone who is an elite athlete and played football at the highest level, is a Hall of Fame player in his sport, and then for him to transition, talk about basketball. I feel like Shannon Sharpe has had an excellent transition. I feel like I hate his takes about LeBron versus Jordan, but I still respect him as a basketball commentator, and I think he makes some good points. But I feel like if we're gonna talk about guys who shouldn't be talking about basketball, it's like, what about like people like Brian Windhorst? What about people who have never played basketball? And you talk about commentators, so it's like once we get into the weeds, where Dylan Brooks after the game, the part that set Shannon Sharpe off was he's like, yeah, Shannon Sharpe is just a football blogger. I'm just like, dude, that's so lame.
That's just disrespectful at that point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like you should be able to talk basketball.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? It's not like it's not like he's like incoherent. And like if you're talking about LeBron being the GOAT, you can argue it. I respect it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. I understand if you say LeBron's the GOAT.
Yeah, if you forced me to argue it, I could.
Yeah, I could argue it. There's enough things to point to, especially because he might actually, by the end of the season, he'll have the most points in NBA history.
He does.
He's already passed it?
Yeah.
When?
It was like last month, but like it was a total non-story. But like, story this season was LeBron is having like a career year, but the Lakers don't have any help around him because they trade all their assets to New Orleans for Anthony Davis, who's perpetually hurt. But LeBron passed Kareem, and it was like a total non-story this year.
Did you hear about the Roy Hachimura trade that they made?
No, you sent it to me, but explain, because you were like, this is why the Lakers are really dumb.
First of all, the Lakers just cannot make a trade to save their life, because I'm going to pull up the trade in just a second, but they traded away, and for Roy Hachimura, who's not, I mean, he'll be fine, but it was Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks, and they get Roy Hachimura in, and I don't think it makes their team all that much better. And you're talking about hoarding picks. you give up 3 second-round picks for one player who's going to be your 8th best player. I don't know. I don't think that's a great move. And I mean, Kendrick Nunn, I don't care about Kendrick Nunn. I just think it's a bad trade. The Lakers, every time they make a trade, they just boatload picks. How do they have any? Oh, you know what the Lakers are? They're the Rams of the NBA because they just trade away all their picks. They don't have a first-round pick till 2027. And that's with the rule where you can only trade every other year.
Yeah.
So it's insanity.